because we know where we're going to end with this coalition of revolutionaries in Rogue One, there's one or two canonical moments, the massacre at Gorman and Mon Mothma's leaving the Senate, making her speech. You know, those are on the calendar. Those are things we have to deal with.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies.
All right, give it to me.
Damn. Okay. The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Do 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 ding. Do 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 ding. The smooth criminal on beat breaks. Never put me in your box.
The shit eats tapes. New York State of Mind. You know I was going to know that one. Anyway, welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Notice you bully me, host Leroy, a.k.a. The Pope is my cousin, with my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, a.k.a. Lando Calzone.
There we go. Leave the Calzones. Eli, that's what I'm saying. I see it. I can see it.
Okay.
He's from Chicago and the boot.
Oh, that's right. This guy's from America, isn't he?
Yeah. He's like the first American Pope, but I guarantee he listens to Chief Keef. He knows King Sosa. I know.
Busting that common.
Right. Anyway, welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. We're gonna jump into it. We got a whole bunch of show for you. Actually, we don't have a whole bunch of show because I'm gonna let Eli just run wild, run free. But before that, we're gonna jump into it now. I know a lot of people have. Oh, first off, Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, it is. Mother's Day.
Even though it was yesterday, but Happy Mother's Day. Funny thing is, we can't make MILF jokes because I woke up this morning and realized that MILFs are just women my age. So
pretty much, yeah. Jilfs. I got to go after Jilfs. If it's
there you go. Okay. There's always a level beyond.
I'm at that age now.
All right. And shout out to everybody that we got a whole bunch of followers this week in our Facebook page because I dropped a reel that was 20 seconds for the last week that actually did way more numbers than the entire podcast last week. And there was Sam Lee killed Bucky. Now, here's the thing. The reason I'm posting this, Eli, because I love it when a post gets all 6 reactions. Or 7?
Okay.
Is it 7 reactions? Yeah, 7 reactions. Yeah. It's like the the Infinity Gauntlet. I pissed off everybody. Everybody loves it. Everybody hates it. Everybody wants, all this stuff like that. So y'all jump in there and say whatever you want because people have been saying all kind of nasty stuff about me. Yeah, why don't you ever say anything about Eli? Y'all always come after me. Eli's just chilling.
I'm just the droid. I'm just
I mean, he's there too, shit.
I'm just here to support. I'm the Igor. I'm just here to hey, Happy Mama's Day, everybody.
That's it. Oh shit. That's all right. But when Native American Hawkeye shows up, that ain't me. That's
that's all me.
That's all Eli. That's all Eli.
Yeah. I took the brunt for that one.
But female Silver Surfer Eli, that's both of us.
Bring it, y'all. Bring it. I'm still ready. You can bring it. Y'all ain't faded me yet.
Oh shit! It's only gonna get worse for us, Eli. We're never gonna beat those allegations. Hold on, let's see what we got. Oh, who was this? Who's Darth Vader? What? Nah, leave. Get the fuck out of here. Thanks for listening. Oh shit! Like you're not even allowed to be here.
It's the guy from Star Trek.
Nanu. Let's see. Oh wait, no Star Wars. So what? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
yeah. You're right. That is one of a bad topic. That's why I'm not jumping in. That's why I'm just letting Eli just run wild with it.
Those are just
you can't talk about it. Yeah.
What's the pirate's code or whatever? Those are just suggestions.
Yeah. Parlay. Yes. Yeah.
Leroy Yeah, Leroy reviewed the Will Smith album last month or
I
whatever.
did. I watched the Zack Snyder movie,
Yeah.
all 6 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, we're gonna jump into the podcast. Before we get into it, we do want to talk about quick things. We want to talk about Thunderbolts
Okay.
or New Avengers or whatever the fuck Kevin Feige changed the name to. Now, honestly, when I saw the name change, I got pissed off about it because he actually did spoil it and people did get pissed about that shit. But then I thought about it. What if Kevin Feige is secretly a genius? Why he did this? What if he did this? Because the thing about these Marvel movies, like the last 5 years or like that, they've been notoriously underperforming in the second week. Like second week, people just don't go. They just done 70% drop, 80% drop, whatever like that. And I'm thinking, what if he did this to garner attention for the second week? Someone had this huge ass drop off, stuff like that. And I looked at drop off, it was like 55%. I'm just like, it's better than before. So maybe it did work. Maybe it did get people to go see the movie, I guess. So good on him. So good on him for doing that. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is the fact that now, since any Marvel movie always comes out, or any comic book movie comes out, the first thing that people always do is always start versus battles. It's always a versus battle. This who's stronger, because you got all these feats and all the shit like that. Feats do this, feats do that, stuff like that. So we're gonna start off with one of the feats. Now, people saying like they're ranking like the top 10 super soldiers, shit like that. I don't care how you rank them. Whatever you do, just make sure the Incredible Hulk is at the top of the list. Because remember, in the MCU, they retconned them that it's a super soldier serum.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta have all that on there. What else we
got? Dr. Doom versus Dr. Fate.
Yeah, awaiting. Who is there? But I'm not leaving it to you. Okay, well then you ain't leaving. Shit. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you want me to say about that. So, all right.
We never faked the Doom bots. Shout out to the Doom bots.
Shout out to the Doom bots before he kills all of us. So before he takes over the world. Okay. Also, we're gonna talk about also another big battle: Sentry versus Superman. My fault. Wrong one. That's better. Okay, so yeah. Honestly, like I said, Stan Lee always said whoever you like better wants to win. So Superman wins the fight. No, there you go. All right, moving past that. All right, so hold up. Who we got here? I missed the clip. Why did he hide even? I wish Hulk was better because he should now been able to beat up Purple Man. No, he can't. Why would he can't beat up Purple Man? I mean, he can, but he can't.
He could.
I mean, he could, but
if he lets him, if Purple Man lets him.
Can sneeze.
Is Hulk too dumb for Purple Man to take over?
Well, that's the thing. Like old school Hulk can't be mind control.
Yeah.
That's like one of his powers. So
that's why he can kick Superman's ass, because gamma radiation has Kryptonian properties.
Okay, okay, we're past that. But this the most interesting versus battle I wanted to get into, Eli. I didn't give a fuck about that, who can beat who and shit like that. I want to get into this versus battle.
Oh,
who's the better actor? That's what get you. Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck who. I don't
trying to be clever. I see.
Yeah. So you a curveball like that, because the thing is, a lot of people are saying that because of the role that Yelena played in Thunderbolts, they're saying a lot of people are saying that she is a better Black Widow than Scarlett Johansson ever was. I'm like, whoa. Let's not go down that road now. But there is some truth in that, Eli. I kind of agree with and don't agree with. The reason I'm not agreeing with it, because we got to remember when Scarlett Johansson first got the role of Black Widow, she was just eye candy. Like that was her role. That's what she was. She was a super sexy spy that just comes in there and use her sexuality as a weapon. Yes, I got a whole bunch of ScarJo picks for research, Eli,
Yeah.
So that's what. Yeah, that's what I think. So I was saying she got all that role, and that's what she was there for. She was there to be super sexy. Even when she's fighting, kicking ass, she got to be sexy while fighting and kicking ass, shit like that. So really didn't know much about her other than, that little speech she gave with Loki and shit like that. But eventually we got more character depth into her because ScarJo was just a great actress. But by the time we finally got to know who she was, they killed her. So yeah, so that was like it. Okay. So my thing is this. Is Yelena a better fleshed out character than Natasha was? Yes, but only because Natasha had to walk so Yelena could run. We wouldn't have gotten to this point with Yelena without Black Widow being all super sexy and shit like that, and slowly uncovering all the stuff that we know about her, stuff like that. Making her a fleshed out character. So that was we had to get there first. That's all. Like I said, women are written differently now in 2025 than they were written back in 2000s.
Yeah, because remember, Joss Whedon was still making those movies. Remember, he did the boob thing in all Age of Ultron, where Banner the attack goes off, Ultron starts blowing shit up, and then Banner lands on
Justice League. Also,
and he lands on fucking Black Widow, Banner, and then he did the same thing with Wonder Woman. How you gonna do that to Wonder Woman?
Right. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's the same, because that's how he was writing women, you know. Then we found out later on he was just doing that shit so he could sleep with women and shit like that. But we're not going to go there. That's a whole nother podcast. How you talk about the character depth of who is Darth Vader? You're not leaving, because we're not talking about Darth Vader.
Yeah, stay as long as you want. It just helps us out, our views and shit.
Yeah, get those numbers up. Ezra Miller.
Commenting.
Ezra Miller is weird, yes. But that's the whole point what I was trying to get right there. So yes, the thing is, so Yelena didn't have to be all super sexy femme fatale. She can actually just be a character. She could be a person. Where back in 2000s you had to sell Black Widow. Like, she's gonna be a teen, like she got to be, all the stuff like that. He'll be back. Don't worry about that. So point about the movie is that you gotta have, okay. Back in 2000s, they didn't want to make a Black Widow movie because they were scared it wasn't gonna make any money. That's why it took till 2021 for the jump in. Okay,
I'm back.
Okay, I know if you jumped out of it like that, but
but went to standby mode and I got kicked out again. Yeah.
Okay, so that's my only thing like that. So yes, I do feel like Yelena is better written, but only because they have to. They don't have to go by those tropes anymore, where they were forced to back in hell almost over 15 years ago. When it back
in the 2000s, that's when the MCU officially started.
This is when all your video game reporters had to be like Olivia Munn and shit like that, because we didn't hear news from everybody else, so
yeah,
it was a different world. It was a different time, Eli.
Olivia Munn, Morgan Webb,
right?
Yes, those are the days.
Right. What makes you think I want to hear you tell? That is a classic line, man. That's classic. Anyway,
oh yeah.
Let's move on past.
Yeah, see that now everybody know Leroy said that.
Oh shit. All right, now that's all I got. We can move on past. We can move past that. Like I said, we're gonna go to the next part of the podcast. We're gonna talk about, because Eli watched the show. A show we're banned to talk about. That's why I'm gonna step back. But Eli's gonna give you a deep dive, balls deep theme discussion, whatever you got, and he's gonna break down Darth Vader for you.
Yeah, Darth Vader. Darth Vader. His identity is Jason Todd. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. It was Jason Todd
all along.
But I can't see. I need my glasses.
Those were the days. Say Eli. Yeah, he's still okay. We told you who Darth Vader was. Okay, now, like I said, Eli is going to talk about a show. He's going to talk about Andor. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
BBL. What the fuck is this show, Eli? What they call it?
BBY.
There you go. Okay. Because that shit kept popping up. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know.
BBC,
But they keep making
BBW.
Like, I'm supposed to know what this means. So
before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay, thank you for breaking it down. Because why can't they say that? Why can't they say before the Battle of Yavin? Why they got to put BBC and all this shit in there?
Because you got to know. It's just you got to know this shit now, man.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Shit's 50 years old now, man.
Okay, break this shit down for me, Eli. Because obviously I missed some other shit going on too. So
yeah, it's before the Battle of Yavin. It's so the Battle of Yavin is the I can't believe I got to explain this.
You got Leroy know who Darth Vader is. So
Leroy, do you know who Darth Vader is? And Bruce Wayne is Batman, by the way.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Battle of Yavin is the Death Star in A New Hope. That's the battle. So that's like the measure of timing. Before the Battle of Yavin, after the Battle of Yavin. That's like the timeline, the canon, the modern Star Wars canon. And Andor started 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay, this season or last season?
Last season, but this season has been each arc is slowly getting closer to the time period. So I think the first arc was 4 years, or was it 4 years before the Battle of Yavin? And then the arc after that was 2, or 3 or something. And now this is 2,
Okay.
So,
because I'll be honest with you, like, I never noticed that until this last 3 episodes. I'm like, why do they keep showing this shit?
And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think this might be the first time. I might be mistaken because I haven't been paying attention to the other Disney Star Wars stuff that much, but this might be the first time where it was actually used in a show, like BBY, for BBY.
Did they not do that last season?
I don't think they did it like in any other show, like in Obi-Wan or Mando or any of that shit. Or, I don't think they ever referenced that. Or even Acolyte, which was like 100 or was it 150 years before the Battle of Yavin?
They just said it. It happened.
Yeah, I don't think they've. This might be the first. Don't quote me, but this might be the first time that they're referencing that in on screen. It's been in the books, it's been in the comics, but yeah, we've never seen it actually on screen anywhere. I could recall. I could be wrong, So yeah, what are we talking about?
Andor. BBLs. So shit.
BBWs.
Yeah, remember BB? Oh no, shit. Not that. I fucked it up.
Okay, yes. This week's Andor arc, I gotta say, it was probably the best arc of the season. These past 3 episodes, 7, 8, 9, dealing with the massacre on Gorman, which is canonical. That is referenced in other Star Wars lore. It's referenced to on Rebels. And so that the massacre on Gorman is something canon to the Star Wars universe. Now we got to see it happen.
I did not know that. I was just like, they keep talking about these spiders like it's a big deal. What the fuck going to happen?
Well, yeah, the Empire is after some mineral inside the planet that is probably going to be used
they're not
for the
after
Death
the
Star.
Spiders, they're after something else.
Yeah, some rock element under the ground. So they're going to mine the planet. So they got to get rid of the indigenous population because they need their natural resources. Sound familiar?
Doom.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think that's what separates Andor. Yes, Andor is mature. Star Wars has finally matured after 50 years. This isn't for kids. And we got to see the massacre on Gorman. That episode 8, I gotta say, was I was basically had this feeling of dread the entire time.
Because it's something that you already heard of. You already knew that was coming. So, okay.
And the way it was playing out, the tension, and then when it popped off, and then all the fun, it was like, oh my God, here we go. This is bad. And the show is attacked. I think what makes this show different than other Star Wars stuff is it's really tackling like current events, like real world current events. Star Wars has always kind of dealt with, fascism, but like in a fun, fluffy sort of way,
or in a universal way.
Yeah,
because dictators always have been around for forever.
Yeah,
I know you're going to him. I'm just saying, like when George Lucas made the first trilogy, he was comparing the rebels to the Viet Cong.
But Star Wars has always been sort of fun and fluffy and kind of a safe space for people, fun, but Andor is sort of addressing, real world scenarios, and that's what, while I was watching this, like, wow, this type of shit happens like all over the world. Like and in current
it's
time.
happening now, so yeah,
and I kind of got a sick feeling while watching it, and then of course Mon Mothma's speech that she said in episode 9, calling it a genocide, just really, really diving deep. Star Wars is kind of using real world issues to tell stories or real world stories. And it wasn't just
that she did the speech, is that the news outlets, the propaganda, the media were twisting it.
Yes, calling the heroes of the Empire and all that stuff, the martyrs of the Empire, even though they committed a massacre.
Right.
That they're martyrs. The empires are victims.
Right.
Are being portrayed as victims on the news outlets. So yeah, we're seeing like these. We're seeing real world current events being told through Star Wars storytelling, and it was kind of chilling. And the Empire is scary. Like, that's the thing. Another thing that separates us, like Darth Vader is cool. We wear his shirts. We got his toys. He's a figure. Boba Fett, stormtroopers, TIE fighters and all that. That's really cool. They're toys. We love that shit. There's memes of Darth Vader dancing and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But in Andor, the Empire is scary. They're terrifying,
Like
and
we always hear them talk about it. Now we're seeing it.
Yeah. Cyril Karn, the fucking little scumbag bitch boy. He's a villain. He's not cool. He's not Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the opposite of Darth Vader. He's kind of a whiny incel sniveling little punk ass bitch,
Right.
He's like an online troll, and an angry dude who just wants attention and just easily indoctrinated into whatever bullshit the Empire wants him to believe. And they get him, and that's how fascism works. They get these whiny, spineless assholes to follow their orders, and that's frightening because we see that. We see that on our show.
Right.
So that's, and then of course, and then his mom watching the news program, like now that you said the media, that scene where she's watching it and they're heroes of the Empire,
and they were doing it all throughout the show. We're like, oh wait, you see one thing going on, but they're saying something else. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, they're controlling the information. Yeah.
Yes, even in a galaxy far, far away, the media is being used to manipulate the public's thinking
because the Empire controls the media.
Yeah, and they're getting people to fear another group of people. They're manipulating their thinking into fearing another group of people, into hating another group of people. So you can see, even though you're sad because she knows her son is dead, but after watching that news clip, she's going to blame the rebels on her son's death. So yeah, that's all like, kind of chilling and haunting and kind of sad,
Because it really put the rebels almost in a point of view of terrorists.
Yeah.
I mean, just from point of view wise,
Yeah, like they were protesting, and they which we see again, current events being told through Star Wars. And then Dedra, she's a fucking monster. She ordered it. She's the one. She gave the command for the massacre. So, and that, even though she's got this relationship with Cyril and all that stuff, and she was, she reminded me of Anakin, who was Darth Vader, by the way. When Anakin was like, we can be together. I'm going to overthrow the Emperor. Me and you, Padme, we'll run off and live happily ever after. She was doing that with Cyril in that one scene. She's like, after this is over, we'll go back to Coruscant. We'll finally be together after we murder this whole planet. We'll finally be together. Like, that's what she was supposed. And he finally saw that he was being used, that he was a pawn. That's the tragic irony of Cyril's character. He finally realized, holy shit, I'm being used. My so-called girlfriend that I'm in love with has been using me, lying to me for years, and using me.
Yeah, we're spoiling the shit out this. No. No? Okay.
Yeah, these are spoilers. Yeah, I at the beginning of the show we give the disclaimer, spoiler. But yeah, she was she's a monster, and she's ordered the hit. She ordered the massacre. And even though you kind of feel sad, that's what makes it interesting, is because it's showing that these monsters, these villains are human. That's like the lesson to be learned here, that all humans are capable of evil atrocity all throughout history. Every Nazi, every serial killer, every mass murderer, every piece of shit that's ever done something heinous belongs to the same species as the rest of us.
Right.
And yeah, that just makes their interesting characters. So again, this is like Star Wars seen in a new light. you know. and the funny thing about Cyril is like, yeah, he was so obsessed with, you know, he idolized the Empire, you know. He's this whole, and then when he tried to kill Andor, when he tried to kill Cassian, he was like, you know, he didn't save Dedra, he was trying to kill Cassian because he blamed Cassian for all the shit in his life, you know, because he became obsessed with Cassian. Back to the first season, you know, he was who murdered these, because Cassian killed those corrupt cops on that one planet outside the strip club, you know, these piece of shit corrupt cops. And Cyril was like, who did this? We must find who murdered the murderer of these. You know, we are the Empire. Blah, blah, blah.
Even though they were trying to shake down Andor at the beginning of the episode. So
they were pieces of shit. But he was so obsessed with finding who, you know, upholding justice, the Empire's justice, that you know, he became obsessed with them, and then blaming Andor for all the wrongs in his life. So that's why it was kind of funny when, you know, that fight at the end, and Andor's like, "Who are you? Like, who the fuck are you?" Like The Rock. Who in the blue hell are you? and that's, again, like, this guy who was so obsessed with them, Cyril, who begged for attention, sought validation, you know, just wanted to be heard, you know, and wanted to be valid, you know. Turns out Andor didn't even know who he was, just like the Empire used him as a pawn. He had no idea that his girlfriend was using him to further her own career and all that, you know. But he was just a cog in the machine, you know. And for a split second, you thought he might do the right thing, but no, he ends up attacking Cassian, and that gets killed by the other guy who was part of the rebel cell, who was trying to lead the resistance on Gorman. You know, you piece of shit, you used us. So it's all like a ironic tragedy. So yeah, like I said, Cyril is a captivating villain, just a whiny, sniveling rat fink bastard. The total opposite of Vader. Not cool at all.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I mean that I thought was really cool. And then of course, episode 9, Mon Mothma, the MVP, the spark of the rebellion, she sets it off.
The mother of the rebellion.
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, there you go. You know, she sets it off. She sparks drops that speech, you know, and that whole scene was tense too. That's the thing. Even though I know she survives, I know what happens, somehow the show makes it tense. Like, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I know they're going to get away, but still just the journey. When Andor, I don't know, dude. I know you don't like Cassian as a character.
Still don't.
He's like doing some Han Solo shit. He's starting to get to Han Solo's level. Especially, he shot first.
Right.
When he escorts, you know, Mon Mothma out of the Senate. Like, that whole shit was you know. But yeah, and then of course it also dropped more Easter eggs, like Rebels, you know. There's an episode of Rebels where Mon Mothma gets picked. They reference Gold Squadron on the episode here, but there's an episode of Rebels where you see where Mon Mothma gets picked up by the Ghost crew and gets taken to a secret place in the galaxy to broadcast another speech. Because remember, they shut her speech down.
Right. Because soon she said Palpatine, they were like, cut the feed.
Yeah, they cut her off on Coruscant, but the Ghost crew in Rebels takes her to like a secret place, and then she broadcasts another speech across the whole galaxy, and that's where the official Rebel Alliance begins, you know. So that was pretty cool, you know. And I'm really digging Mon Mothma as the way they've developed her as a character and her tragedy, what she had to give up. You know, she was a billionaire, came from this privileged background, but she just generally wanted to help and do good for the galaxy, where the rest of her peers, the rest of her billionaire friends had their head up their asses.
Where they're getting rich off the Empire.
Yeah.
So why would they stick their hand out?
Yeah, they're profiting off of people's misery. They don't give a shit, but Mon Mothma did. And so she did what she can, and now she's part of the rebellion. Yeah, welcome to the rebellion. When he shot that dude, welcome to the rebellion. Like, yeah, this is how it is, you know. And that's what makes her story kind of tragic, because she's given up her privileged, rich lifestyle, and her
Right.
family. You know, her family are. She had to realize that her husband and daughter were, you know, had their head up their asses. They don't give a shit about the rest of the galaxy. You know, they're spoiled, rich assholes.
Right.
You know, so she gave that up for the greater good. So I thought that was cool. Like seeing her journey, seeing her character get fleshed out like that. You know,
Yeah, and Bail Organa, you know, mentioning that, yeah, I want to come, but I can't, you know.
Mhm.
And it always makes you think, like, okay, was he on Atheron when all this shit went down?
I'm pretty sure he was. Well, he gets blown up. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, now it makes me wondering, did he
They're
not
trying to
go back?
retcon, like he wasn't on Andor or he wasn't on Alderaan when they
I don't
blew
know.
it up.
It just had me think for a second, like, because I don't know, maybe there was some other story that said he was there when it happened, because he made it seem like I'm gonna go somewhere else, you know, when the shit blows up. So I don't know.
Yeah. But just like I said, just seeing Mon Mothma's character development, seeing her get fleshed out and the shit she had to go through to basically fund. She went from just donating.
Oh, spoilers, light blinded foot. But thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. But yeah, but I would not be surprised if they came out with a comic book like, oh, he did survive.
Like he was on some other planet chilling.
He was on Dagobah
over there, you know.
him and Yoda are on Dagobah smoking fucking weed and shit. But yeah, but no, Mon Mothma's character is really cool. I really dug her on, like, I'm digging her in this series. Because like I said, she started out just donating to the cause, and you know, now she's full-fledged in it. You know, she left her family, now she's got to go in hiding because now the Empire, they're after her. You know, so this is it for her. You know, which makes that dance scene
like we talk about, like, I don't really give a shit about Andor or Cassian or the actor that's playing Cassian, anything like that. But there are two people that keep me watching this show. You know, Bix and Mon Mothma.
Oh yeah,
and I won't go into detail why. I'm just saying.
And
they keep me engaged into the show. So yeah.
When Bix left him, spoilers, yes, Bix ends up leaving Andor at the end of episode 9.
Right.
And
there's some fan theories about that too.
Yeah, that she might be force sensitive, or because she met that force healer in one of the earlier episodes, and kind of like, you know, but Andor wanted to leave.
Oh, not even that. That, and this is completely off. It may not be right, anything like that. She may be Poe Dameron's mother.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that.
I don't know, because some
weird, with the fan theories.
It's a weird ass thing to have. It's like Oscar Isaac just showed up at a premiere for some reason, and they hugged. And you know, that's all it took for people to just go fucking nuts and shit like that. What is he doing there? What is
all the darkies are related.
Yeah. So she might have got married to somebody else, like a Dameron or something like that, and they fought whatever the fuck like that, and got married, and all this shit.
Just like Mace Windu was Finn's dad. That was
right. All this shit. So yeah. Like, just let it go, man. See, this is why John Boyega don't fuck with y'all.
Yeah. The Gorman Center saying they'll come for you next. Cut to Bill. Yeah. Like she set off a bomb, and now she's got to go into hiding.
Yeah.
But back to Bix. I remember I was like, I thought it was sad, but also kind of relieved, because remember I was like, I hope nothing bad. I don't want to see Bix die.
Right.
You know, because we've seen her suffer so much. You know, she got tortured first season. She almost gets essayed. Well, she did get essayed, you know, got assaulted this season. She's been through the ringer. So for her to, you know, we know what. Addict. Yeah, became a junkie. We know what happens to Andor. I was like, man, if she dies of a tragic death, that's gonna suck. So the fact that she left, kind of like, okay, it made me feel better. You know, okay, at least she's safe. But I do feel bad for her. I think it's sad. Yeah, unless she comes back a year later. But she's not in Rogue One, you know, so
right. So
which
would be even more messed up if she comes back the next couple episodes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed these last 3 episodes. They're the best episodes of this season, you know, and I don't really remember what happened in the other arcs now.
I agree, because it's getting more Star Warsy. They're all yapping.
And that's the thing. Yeah, that you bring that up, because I think, you know, watching episode 8 and knowing that the massacre was coming, and just that feeling of dread, it's like you were hoping like something was going to happen. Like they hear, like, But they don't. That's the thing. That's what makes this kind of fucked up. Yoda's not going to show up. Luke is not going to show up. Jedi are not going to show up and save them. And I think that's what kind of gives it that real world tension, and kind of separates this show from like other superhero shit we like. Because like Daredevil and The Boys, they really shove the political commentary in the face. They really,
Kingpin was Trump. So
they really like blatantly shove it in your face what their political commentary is. But the thing is, with those shows, they're still fantastical. The superheroes still exist. The superheroes still show up and save the day. On this show, Yoda ain't showing up. Nobody with the lightsaber showed up, and that was kind of haunting. That gave that, like I said, that feeling of dread.
But Eli, you say that, but I think Star Wars wears its politics on its sleeves also. And I'm not talking about just Andor. I'm talking about before Andor. Like we talking about the prequels, that was Bush. The further it went on, George Lucas was very much talking about Bush Jr. in this shit. Yeah,
and I ain't got time for motherfuckers who say keep politics out of Star Wars or what. I ain't got time for that shit anymore.
No, George Lucas very much is shoving that shit down. He started from the beginning. So
if y'all don't know this by now, I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna argue. I ain't gonna debate. Go live in your ignorant bubble of bullshit, believing whatever the fuck you want.
Right. They don't see pretty lightsabers. They don't catch none of the context, none of that shit.
Sitting in this
unless there's a black stormtrooper, then they get upset.
Allergic to knowledge. Sit in that comfortable space of yours, ignorant space of yours. I don't give a shit anymore. I ain't got time for that.
You posted people saying like, I'm so glad Andor doesn't deal with politics or some shit. Just because the number of white people, like, so y'all not paying attention to any of the shit that's going on?
Yeah.
Just because it's all white people? Okay.
I ain't got time for that anymore. Fuck them all. Fuck them all in the mouth. Shut the fuck up, all y'all. I'm past that by now.
Okay.
So, but no, back to like what I think the message. I mean, even though there was that sense of dread, this last story arc, I think the hope of the rebellion, the whole thing of the rebellions are built on hope. Rebellion, I think they're talking about the collective, that we are all in this together. I think that's where the hope is, because Andor doesn't act alone. Luthen doesn't act alone. Luthen's got Kayla. What's her name? Kayla or Clea or whatever. His like badass, like right-hand woman.
Right.
Luthen's all ruthless, but like Clea's like even more hard, keeps him in line and shit, so it's like it's the collective. Like the rebellion is a collective, is a community. We're all in this together.
I think they're trying to show you that the Empire and the rebellion both have counterparts. Like whoever is on this side, they have a counterpart on the other side. Yeah.
And I know the movies are full. The movies is the fun shit. The heroes save the day. They get the spotlight. They get the glory. They get all the attention. Andor is about the rest of the crew that help the heroes get there, and I think that's the whole thing, especially when Mon Mothma leaves the Senate. Like she does her speech. Okay, she's got to leave. And here's Cassian. I have friends everywhere. Not it's the we're all in this together. This is where the rebellion works. This is how the rebellion works. The collective, the community. So
fuck the Freemason cult. Why did I click that? Okay, no, not that I meant it, but
yeah. So yeah, like I said, I really dug these past 3 episodes. Best arc of the season, and like I said, I don't really remember the rest of this.
Right, that's my thing. Because the thing is, Eli, like even though I keep talking about this show and this is like that, but I feel like this should be my favorite show. I feel like it should be, because at the end of the day, this is just a gritty spy thriller.
Yeah, basically.
But you sprinkle some Star Wars aesthetics on it, and that's what it is, So I mean, that should be a formula of success for me to just eat this shit up, just be done with it. And to be honest with you, when it's all done, I'm probably gonna rewatch them all over. Like now that I know what BBL and all the shit like that means, I'm gonna watch it again to catch the context. And I probably will enjoy it more than I did the second time.
Yeah, I enjoyed Andor season 1 better when I rewatched it as a whole.
Yeah,
because last year it was just an episode at a time. Right. And that did drag.
So
But-
now that I have more context what's going on and how it relates to what's going on, especially since this is leading directly into, Rogue One. So now I know, and I pay attention again. So and honestly, the way they're doing it, it feels like, and honestly, that's what Star Wars should be. Like I said, when George Lucas made this thing, all he was doing was just making a sandbox. Like you can do and say and whatever you want to do, just sprinkle some space shit on there and some Jedi Knight shit like that. But tell whatever story you want to tell.
Yeah. And he was a science fiction guy. He and that's science fiction and a lot of whatever genre, horror, science fiction, whatever.
It ain't even got to be that. Western.
Yeah.
Samurai movies. Whatever the fuck you want to do.
Art is a
thrillers like this.
Yes. All art is a vessel to express ideas and opinions, Right. And that's what he was doing. He was, it was in the 60s and 70s. He was a hippie. He was against the Vietnam War. So you know what? I'm gonna tell a story about a war in space.
Where the terrorists are the heroes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all he was doing. And it became the rest is history. And like I said, Dune. I mean, Dune, I'm not gonna get into the Dune, what Dune is about,
Right.
That's another
we had so many, yes.
Yeah, but that's Dune. The spice is oil.
Right.
The spice is a metaphor for oil. All these nations fighting for this fuel source. That's the theme of Dune.
They're in the Middle East.
Yeah. They're in the desert.
They're Muslims. So,
yeah. All these different countries or planets fighting for a fuel source, fighting for oil, fighting for gas. Because why? That's what fuels the trade. And trade makes the wealth. That's where wealth comes from, is the trade. So it's all there. It's just. But
they're using religion to subjugate and control the.
Yep.
We're going too deep.
Yeah, but same thing. Star Wars, Dune. It's all packaged into all these political ideas are packaged in this box with spaceships and lightsabers and lasers and shit, and magic space wizards.
Because George Lucas knew that shit was going to be a distraction for the shit he's really trying to tell you.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. So
yeah, Darth Vader being the father of the twins that's like fucking Shakespeare shit. That's fucking Arthurian legends, the sins of the father. That's
right.
It's nothing new.
Hamlet, all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Hamlet. Shakespeare. Yeah.
Luke Skywalker going back. Yeah. It's all this shit. Yeah. So
the hero's journey. Yes, all that shit. It's all classical mythology. That's
it's all about how you package it. That's all it is. So
yeah.
All right.
So,
but you didn't talk about the thing I wanted to talk about, Eli.
What is it? I'm curious now.
This chick. Can you see?
Did she get killed?
Eli. Okay,
that was last.
She got killed. It wasn't in BBL 2. It was in BBL.
It was the last. 3. It was the last arc last week.
The last
where she got killed. Yes.
Okay, so here's my thing.
That was sad. That was very sad.
I'm so glad she's dead.
Are you?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It was confusing for me, Eli.
She was like the Clemenza of
No. Here's the thing. I like the actress. But the thing is, she's confusing because she's in this show Andor, and she's also in Doctor Who.
Oh, she.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, is this why they call it the BBC? Anyway, go past that.
Look at you tonight,
Anyway, I didn't think I was going to jump into this as much, but the point is, it was confusing because like Andor at the heart of it kind of feels like a BBC show for some reason. I don't know why.
It is very British, yes.
It is very British, like a bunch of British people in it. Just has that feel to it. So when she pops up and these shows are like long as shit, let's like Doctor Who long as shit, I forget what show I'm watching.
They're probably shot on the same studio set.
On the same studio. She just hops on, just throw some more clothes on, just move over here,
change costume, and run over to the Doctor Who set.
So I was just like, so when she died, I'm like, thank you, fuck. Okay, now I can just concentrate on this show.
Okay.
So
I thought you were going to talk about the lesbian scene or something.
I am about to talk about the lesbian scene.
Oh, okay.
I was getting there next. I had to get that out the way first. Okay, yeah. Because the lesbian scene, like I said, I just watched The Last of Us like right before I watched the Andor show, and The Last of Us, they went there. Like, what? I was like, what the fuck? Whoa, shit. Okay. So then when I saw this and they just cut away before they kissed, I was thinking they were going to go there too, but I was like, oh, this is Disney Plus. You can't scissor each other down and shit like that in a Star Wars show.
You're about to grab your bottle of Jergens and shit.
Grab my lightsaber.
Oh shit.
But that's problematic, Eli. Okay, you introduced her and you revealed that she was gay, then you kill her, I think, like in the same episode. Can't do that.
No, she was gay last season.
Was she? I didn't remember her in the last season.
She was last season.
I barely paid attention. So yeah.
She's like an assassin. Yeah, she's like I said, she's the one who fucking whacked Mon Mothma's homie that was all drunk.
They didn't show it. He just got in the car like shit.
She was Clemenza from The Godfather.
Yeah. It's not had to show it and that was it. So you know what's gonna happen. So yeah. Okay, so that makes it a little bit easier to swallow, Eli, because I was about to bring up that they did a no. They went against a trope. The trope is called I showed it. Anyway, the trope is called bury your gays.
Oh.
It's a real trope. Okay. So the reason they call it bury your gays because it's a trope in Hollywood loves to do that. They will introduce a character as gay, and the moment they do it, kill them off. So, but since you said that she was already gay last season, it kind of makes it a little bit better, but not really.
I guess, yeah. So
I'm just saying because Hollywood has a tendency to do this. So you got to be careful with those tropes. That's all. So
I thought I got bummed out when that happened. that dumbass let when they were doing the heist.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, did he shoot her? I was like, oh damn, they just got back together. And I felt, man. See, I'm getting the feels from this show.
That's the thing. I'm not, man, because like you said, when that Deidre chick that everybody, I was like, Andor, shoot her, please shoot her, be done with it.
Yeah, I am too. Shoot her. She's a piece of shit.
I'm like, she got away.
That's what's so fucking funny is like they've created these compelling villains that people don't know that they're evil. Like people were like online, people were saying Cyril was a hero for trying to save the love of his life. Like he's a piece of shit. He is the bad guy.
Right. He's on the other side also. So
she's a piece of shit. She just ordered the massacre of thousands of people. She is a piece of shit. Holy shit, it's amazing. Like people are still not getting it. I think it's funny,
Look, Eli, as long as they don't touch these two, I'm fine.
Oh, Mon Mothma's gonna make it.
I know Mon Mothma's gonna be all right, but yeah.
Bix I was worried about, but I have high hopes now that she left Andor, left Cassie.
Second up in there, okay.
What did I say? What does he say? I can't see. Look at my glasses.
Yeah.
Cyril wavered for a second. Yes, you're right. Light blinded fool. Yes, for a split second, you thought he might, because he got pissed off. He left her. He's like, "Goodbye, Deidre. You piece of shit. You used me." And he left. That was like the best thing he did. He finally stood up for himself. Which he never did in his life. His mom was overbearing. Then he got with a woman who turned off the lights while they're having sex, so she didn't have to look at him. And he finally stood up for himself. And then oh shit, is he finally? Because he knew what he did was wrong. He knew that, oh shit, they're gonna kill everybody.
Right.
And I had a part to play in this. Holy shit! But instead of joining the rebellion, he tries to kill Cassian. It's like, it's all your fault. And Cassian's like, who the fuck are you?
It's another guy he killed. So
yeah, pathetic. But yeah,
coming in hot, yeah.
And Chuck and Choice, yeah. So this was cool. One more arc.
One more arc.
That's
okay.
It. Yeah.
I'm also hearing that the director, Tony Gilroy, what his name is?
Yeah.
Okay. Saying he wants a theatrical release for like the first 3 episodes, saying he's already chopped it up for theatrical. He's just working on like the sound, music, whatever like that. He's just waiting on Disney to give him the go. I was just like,
you can watch that in Rogue One double feature or whatever.
Well, the Rogue One's 10-year anniversary is next year.
Yeah. These last few episodes are supposed to lead like right into Rogue One.
Yeah, something like Disney. What are y'all doing? Do y'all not like money? Just do this shit, man. Like, there should be no thought about it. Just do it. So, I get it. They don't want to do it because they're not going to make $1 jillion and shit like that. Look, who cares? You're going to get my money. Like, you do this shit, you'll get at least my dollars. I can't speak for the other jillion and shit like that, but just do the shit. The fans are going to support. The fans are going to come out there. We're going to have fun, shit like that. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, Revenge of the Sith is back in theaters and it's making a killing.
And it was kicking ass. Yes.
So
I saw more people in that than I saw in Thunderbolts.
people like seeing Star Wars on the big screen,
Yeah.
You know.
So shit. Oh, anything else we got? I think I'm Andored out. Do I have anything else to talk about Andor?
I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk
Okay.
about.
I was gonna let you go, Eli. I wasn't expecting to jump in. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I want it. This deserves especially these last few episodes deserves attention.
Right.
It's making a statement about what's going on in the world today, real life stuff that's going on in the world.
But the thing is, the stuff they're talking about, stuff that's always going on in the world. Like we talk about this stuff, like it's like the Middle East stuff like that. When has it not been over there like that?
Yeah, and I think that is Star Wars. Like I said, it's finally maturing. Yes, it's always been kind of light and fluffy, but now it got gritty. Like I said, there's no lightsabers in this shit. This is like tackling real world scenarios.
Right. And the thing is, every Star Wars show don't need to be like this. The point is, Star Wars need to have their show need to have different flavors. And
people are struggling with that. People are like, I want Star Wars to be fun. I want it to be light and fluffy. I want to see lightsabers and space battles, and that's fine.
Well, that's what Ahsoka's for.
Yeah, go watch Ahsoka. Go watch Obi. You have plenty of that.
Yeah.
I don't
Mando,
want
all this stuff.
Yeah, man. I don't want every Star Wars show from now on to be a gritty, depressing fucking soap opera. No.
Right.
But I do like that this exists, and it's like, okay, now Andor proves that they are capable of making something mature and good, and with really good writing and deep character development, and and where the audiences gets invested. Because even though I know what happens, this shit still gets tense. Even though I knew Mon Mothma is going to survive till after Return of the Jedi, I was still like, my heart was pounding when Cassian was escorting her out of the Senate.
Right. And then he kills somebody. Hell, kill a driver.
Yeah, like what's his name? That's a meme. That's a new meme. The scene of her shooting, like he's kind of got a grin on his face. And
yeah, she's like freaking out.
She's freaking out. Yeah. Yeah, Andor shot first.
Yeah, Andor shot. That dude didn't have time to pull anything out. So this 2 years ago, guessing for this message. But that's the thing. Like I said, this is not I understand it's a current event message, but the thing is, this message is always happening. Like somewhere in the world, there's always some bullshit like this going on. So that's why you could write a story like this, and it's always relevant.
Yeah. Well, like just like Daredevil, Mayor Fisk.
Like they wrote that shit like 20 whatever the fuck, like a while ago.
2016, like the comic Mayor Fisk, where Wilson Fisk became mayor. That was like 2016, 2015.
And even the TV show, when they wrote that TV show, that was before 2020.
The election. Yeah.
Before the election. So they know where it was going to swing. They just wrote it.
Yeah.
So, because no matter what happens, there's always a crooked politician somewhere.
Yeah. It's just, timing is everything in art. This just hit at a perfect time. Now it feels relevant. It feels very relevant, really current. And, that's why it felt so chilling,
So, like I said, when it's all said and done, we got this is the last arc coming up. BBL 1, 2. Okay.
I think it's one.
Okay.
One BBC.
Gotcha.
Started with 5. Now we're done.
One BBC. All right. So the point is, when it's all said and done, Eli, I'll give my complete rating of this show. But until then, I'm just going to watch it and see what happens. So yeah. All right. So can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
All right, everybody don't leave. No, stick around. We're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6 because they finally dropped another trailer. So, yeah. And, of course, you got a whole bunch of shit, people shooting and robbing and killing and stabbing like that. But, of course, only thing everybody talking about is, not that. What the fuck? This. Okay. That's it. So, that's from the game. That's from GTA 6.
That's computer animation.
That's computer, digital, yes.
That's CGI.
Probably a dude. like a Harley Quinn on
like the mocap was like, dude.
So it's just funny. Like that's what these kids are getting now, Eli. But the shit I grew up with, Bet. But guess what, Eli? It got the job done.
Yeah.
All right.
Technology.
Technology. Oh yeah. Oh,
You can build a bomb or you can build ass.
That's what we do with our spare time. Let's see. Singer hated this show that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, I don't have time for, like I told you, I don't have time for that shit. If they don't get that, I don't care. Like I'm so past that. Like I said, they're allergic to knowledge. I'm not going to waste my time arguing or debating them. Like whatever.
Right.
You know,
because we know all this shit is clickbait.
Go watch Top Gun, motherfucker.
Right. But a lot of that shit is clickbait doing anyway. That's not even their real opinion. They're just doing this shit to stir up bullshit.
Yeah.
Me and Eli, we don't have the energy to do shit like that.
Yeah.
We're going to say the fuck we want to say. If you listen. If you don't. We're not going to stir up rage bait.
Yeah.
So I don't have time for that shit, man.
And we get it from everybody.
Yeah. We say shit people think we're rage baiting, but no, we're just saying what we feel. Y'all getting pissed off at us. We're
accused of being racist, homophobes one week, and then we're accused of being woke, lefty, libtards
like,
the next
y'all
week.
make up your minds about us, man. Right. We catch hell from every side. So shit.
Yeah.
All right, shit. Can we move next part of the podcast?
Yes.
All right. Like I said, this comic book bully. We're talking about comic books. We can jump into it. Eli, should I go first? Hold up. You know what? I'm gonna go first because I get this bullshit out the way. Okay.
Good for you.
Oh,
thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like being a footy. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do a book I didn't read, but I'm gonna review anyway.
Just like the internet does.
Just like the internet. You don't have to read anything. We can just do it, but I can't.
You don't need to know what you're talking about to get a bunch of clicks.
Right. Just say shit. You know, this is rage bait. That's what it is. We've become what we hate, Eli. Oh shit. I can't find it. Damn it. Yeah, okay. Eli, you go first. My fault. My fault, Eli. My fault. You go first. I gotta set this shit up. So
well, fuck it. Since we're talking about Star Wars, I'll do Star Wars.
Okay.
Number 1. This is the new series, the new arc. Marvel Star Wars comics. The new series. So this takes place after Return of the Jedi. We are on a new arc, a new era.
Okay. All right.
The New Republic era now. I guess this happens after that Battle of Jakku, which I didn't read. I didn't read that Jakku book.
Because you know Jakku is okay, so they're tying this shit into the sequels.
Yeah, so this is like the Battle of Jakku took place right after Return of the Jedi.
Okay, break down Jakku for me for a second.
I don't know. It's what 5 years ABY.
Okay,
after Battle of Yavin.
English, motherfucker, do you speak? We are the worst Star Wars podcast ever made.
Who's Darth Vader? Yeah. So this takes place right after Return of the Jedi. And after that Battle of Jakku, which was referenced in Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. That's where Rey is from, right? Rey was on Jakku.
That's what I'm saying. She's from Jakku. And what I'm hearing is that since it was the last battle, that's why all that bullshit was there, and it was just basically like a junk planet.
Yeah, all the junkyard. She was raiding all the Imperial ships, and she lived in an AT-AT.
But like everybody was doing it, and she was just doing it too because that's where she grew up. So yeah,
and she lived in an AT-AT, an old AT-AT and shit.
Which I honestly thought that was kind of poetic. She basically grew up around Star Wars memorabilia.
Yeah, that's cinema right there. Cinematic art.
Let's stop because we're not allowed
all the toys in a sandbox. Oh,
we are not allowed to say anything good about that movie or the sequels and all. So got to get it kicked off the internet.
And everyone was wearing a mask. Anyway, okay. Star Wars number 1, the new comic arc from Marvel. Like I said, taking place right after Return of the Jedi. The rebels are trying to start the New Republic. We have like Luke and his squadron, Rogue Squadron, not Rogue Squadron. Red Squadron. What's Luke's I would have failed that trivia question right there.
Yep. You were the chosen one, Eli.
Yeah. Anyways, there's the Rebel Alliance is trying to set up a new government. Basically, they're trying to gather all the planets to join the New Republic. But some of the Outer Rim territories,
I love the panel though. One thing.
Oh yeah, the trade routes are being attacked by pirates. So scavengers are like, okay, the Empire's gone. Let's all start robbing shit. So they're trying to like maintain trade routes. So that people are getting robbed. The trade routes are getting robbed by pirates and shit. So that's what this first scene is. Luke and his homies and X-Wing fighters fighting pirates. They chase one guy onto a crash on a planet and chase him. He's like a pirate guy, a space pirate. And then we cut between Leia and Mon Mothma. So Mon Mothma is still alive.
Okay.
5 ABY.
Oh shit. Okay.
And they're having a meeting with a core, like this other planet, this like core sector of planets that have they have a bunch of like resources, and Leia's there to like facilitate, like have them join the Republic. But she's like, they're like, no, we don't agree. We feel like you're just bullying us into, joining your government, and we have our own resources. We never needed you, and we're not going to join you now. Blah 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 blah. So there's some political turmoil going on, trying to set up the New Republic. And then we cut to what planet it is? It's some desert planet, old Western planet, Valance. Valance is that Terminator cyborg bounty hunter guy with lasers in his arms. I don't know if you remember. He's in the bounty hunter books. He's being chased out. Yeah, he's being chased out of a saloon by crooks, by scum and villainy. And they're like, we're gonna get you, Valance. Blah blah blah. But then Han Solo shows up and saves them. They have a shootout and shit. And they're like, what are you doing out here, Han? I thought your old lady's like a senator, and she's Leia and shit. But no, I'm here. Word is that some of those pirates have ties to this planet, and we're trying to, we think that the pirates may be trying to legitimize themselves in a whole new sort of collection of planets. They're being employed by some other faction of planets that want to challenge the New Republic. So there's that going on, and then back to Luke and on that planet with that pirate. He's like, "Who are you? Why are you? Who are you? Who do you work for?" And he's like, refusing to talk. So basically, yeah, they're trying to start the new government. Some planets don't want to join the New Republic, and it sounds like they're using these space pirates to be their new army. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it ends. And on their way back from that meeting, that senator meeting, Leia's on the blockade cruiser, and she gets attacked by pirates, and it says to be continued. So that's where it ends. So, pretty cool. I might ride this for a while, like I do with every Star Wars series. I'll ride it for a while.
Okay. It's interesting because it's the first Star Wars book since the one in 2015, right? Yeah,
but they always end up stopping him because the era, what time period? Because that first one in 2015 took place right after A New Hope, and then the next one took place after Empire Strikes Back, and now this one is taking place after Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
So I kind of I'll probably go back and read that Battle of Jakku book just to fill in the blanks.
Okay. Some comic book trivia for anybody still listening. The highest grossing comic book of this century is Star Wars 1.
The one from 2015?
The one from 2015. It did 1 million copies.
Yeah, I remember that. Jason Aaron was writing it.
Jason Aaron was writing it. It's the only comic to have done 1 million copies. Matter of fact, I think who wrote that? Who drew that? Cassidy?
I think it was, yeah.
He passed, I think, last year, but yeah.
And then the Vader book, they had that Vader book when Vader was badass, and yeah, that was cool shit.
All I smell is fear and dead men, or whatever the fuck you said.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by fear and dead men.
Right. If y'all please read Vader, that we reviewed it.
Yeah, Vader Down.
Yeah, check that shit out. It's there somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but we got it somewhere.
Yeah, that was during COVID, so it's like 5
But
years.
we could do
Well,
nothing. We had nowhere to go.
Yeah, well, there was no new comics coming out, so we reviewed a bunch of old books and
so yeah.
we reviewed Vader Down. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, time for the
So
bullshit.
4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay, time for the bullshit. Okay, so we're reviewing. I think I got this right. Venom number 6. Okay, now for those, the reason I'm reviewing this because of the last issue, Venom number 5, it revealed who's the new Venom. So for people that haven't been keeping up and don't know who's the new Venom is Mary Jane.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought it was like Dylan or somebody. It's not Dylan.
No, all that was misdirection. It's Mary Jane.
Okay.
She's the new villain. She's the new Venom. So yeah.
And so this is what you want. This is what you wanted.
Yes. So this book explains how she became the new Venom. Here's the thing. I didn't read that shit, so I don't know how she became the Venom. I don't give a shit how she became the Venom. I just wanted to read just a little bit of this shit and why I'm not reviewing this shit. So yeah, let's go to
research purposes.
Yeah, Mary Jane Venom. Let's go to it. Oh, here's one like, but they shit on Paul in this book. That's why I like it. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so it starts off with how she became.
He's still a thing.
He's still a thing. They're married now, so yeah, which is going to make these mix up of panels kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but, you're really reminding me why I'm not reading this shit.
Right, I just said Paul. That's it. Okay. All right, so the whole Venom War thing that we didn't read, don't know nothing about. Apparently, Mary Jane and Spider-Man stopped whatever the fuck, like absolute Eddie Brock or some shit from taking over the universe, some shit like that. So they just telling the world. And apparently, like that machine that Paul built for Mary Jane turned a superhero, it was like a bullshit machine. So Venom like fixed the machine. So they're like doing this like arguing back and forth like lovers quarrel. And Paul's like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? So they forget that Paul's in the room when they're talking. So you got Venom on one side and Mary Jane on the side just talking to Paul and Robbie Robertson. And Paul's like, Venom, why do you have your hand on my wife? He was like, oh, no, Paul, it's not a big deal. We're not friends or anything like that. It's just I can't live without her, without touching her. So, and he was like, what? So wait a minute. So you telling me, so is this why we haven't been intimate for like the last few months? And Mary Jane like, yeah, because somebody else was in the room with us all the time. So they're trying to frame it as Mary Jane. Yes.
What?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, break it down. People not paying attention. Mary Jane and Paul have not been having sex ever since Mary Jane got with Venom. So they're framing it like Mary Jane is cheating on Paul with Venom.
This is giving me a headache.
Yes, that's the only reason I'm reviewing this shit. After that, I was like, oh, I'm out. I'm done.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's all I got. That's all. I'm not going any further in that book. I just want to just read that shit. So yeah. I just love it when Paul gets shit on. That's all. So yeah.
I'm just saying, how does that work? Like, so I don't even know why. I'm starting to come up with like porn videos in my head already.
Right. It's Rule 34, Eli. It's already been created.
Yeah, I'm thinking Venom's long ass tongue. Like, how's it?
See, you said it. You said it. Oh shit!
Why they make me think about this shit?
Like, who's writing? Al Ewing's writing this. Why, Al Ewing? Why are you doing this? Who's making you do this? Blink twice if you're okay.
That is, yeah, he is writing this.
He is writing. Why? Why are you writing this?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
But at the same time, Eli, I do have to make a point. Why is it okay when Lois Lane gets superpowers, but we get pissed off when Mary Jane gets superpowers?
I don't know.
Just something to bake a noodle. That's all.
I don't know if I'm pissed off.
Well, you may not be, but
I just find the notion of
just the thought of it.
Yeah. So where's Venom hiding?
You don't want to know, Eli. You do not want to know.
See what you did now?
I know you have some ideas in your head. Please do not say it. We are a family show.
Writing a bunch of fanfic right now.
Yes, we are a family show, family podcast. We're not going to say it. So, oh man. All right. So what book you got next?
I guess I'll do Absolute Superman. I can't believe you didn't read this, man.
I had some other stuff. I don't know.
You were reading Venom, fucking
Venom
Mary
porn
Jane
or
shit.
some shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Absolute Superman, the Absolute Universe, where Darkseid has made a Darkseid version of the DC Universe. And we have different versions of all your favorite characters. This is the Absolute Superman book where Superman is all emo and shit with like a Spawn cape. And, fighting for like poor immigrants and shit. Pretty cool so far. We have found out that Ra's al Ghul has a secret corporation, the Lazarus Corporation.
Which
Lazarus
we should have figured that out, but yeah.
Yeah, and he employs a bunch of peacemakers as an army. And his AI program is Brainiac. So this is the new issue where we find out how Brainiac became the Lazarus pit or the Lazarus corpse AI. Okay. So we start out with some Omega troops. They're trying to invade the Lazarus Corporation's facility. They're, breaking in, trying to shut down Brainiac. And Brainiac fights back. And really fucked up. Brainiac is a psychopath in this book.
I read that first couple. Yeah, what he did to those people. They weren't peacemakers. They were just like regular ass people.
Yeah, they're the Omega. The
Omega Man. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The Omega Man. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Brainiac is using his shrink technology. You know how he can shrink cities and make shit big and smaller and shit? He's using that technology on these soldiers. He like shrinks the dude's skin off.
Yeah, man, I wish I keep talking because I'm trying to see if I can find it. But yeah,
yeah, he shrinks one guy's skin off. It's like Hellraiser.
Yeah, it was like really fucked up. I'm like, what the hell, man?
And then he makes the other dude's organs so huge, internal organs. He giant sizes this dude's organs where he pukes them out.
I thought he was like shrinking his bones. He was puking his bones out
or something. Yeah, he did something internally. And he ended up just like puking out his insides. And then, the last guy, he made those germs really big, like microscopic bacteria. He made them giant. And then they started eating the guy and shit. So, and then we get to see Brainiac and he looks like like Pinhead from Hellraiser, like a Cenobite, He's all like psychotic and shit. And he's after Superman. He's like obsessed with fighting Superman, and then he's like torturing a guy on the table, and then he starts basically having a flashback, and then we get to see how this Brainiac became the Absolute Universe's AI for the Lazarus Corps. And basically he started out as any old Brainiac, only he was one of like
planet, from another planet.
from the original planet. Only he was one of like, I don't know, infinity. I don't know, like
was
billions.
Was it like a hive mind or some shit?
Yeah. He was one, and he was Brainiac. What was his number? 419,732. That's the one he was, and he was in charge of dumping the trash. And the trash that he was dumping were all the old, obsolete Brainiacs. So he was throwing them in this laser pit that disintegrates them, and that's what he was doing for who knows how long, and then one day he's like, taking out. Okay, one day, day 50,000 or whatever. Fucking no more trash comes through. He's like, hey, where's all the Brainiac bodies? So he goes up into the ship and he finds out all the other main Brainiacs are all dead. And he's like, well, shit, since I'm the only Brainiac left, I'm going to be Brainiac number 1. I'm promoting myself to Brainiac number 1, you know, and then takes the skull ship and then, you know, goes to Earth. Problem is, this is the Brainiac that's been, throwing out corpses like they're garbage for like, you know, eons. That's how he views life now. Like life ain't worth shit. Like life is trash. You know, so that's how he's been kind of programmed. So we go back to the present time, and he's got a fucking he finds out that there's like other Brainiacs on other planets, and that he's trying to find out who the Superman is, like who the Superman who's got all these superpowers. I need to know who he is. And then he finds out that, you know, through the other Brainiacs from on the other universes, like, oh well, he was from a planet called Krypton. And they had a, you know, red sun, blah, blah, blah. And the rock there was made of this mineral. So basically, they show him or tell him how to make kryptonite. So this Brainiac creates kryptonite, you know. Okay. And then the guy that he's torturing turns out to be Peacemaker, like Peacemaker.
The original Christopher Smith. Yeah, aren't all of them Christopher Smith?
Well, this one, it's Peacemaker Smith, and he's like, okay, I have a job for you. I'm going to give you a bunch of enhancements, and you're going to go find Superman for me. It's going to be the most dangerous war zone on the planet, a place called Kansas.
First off, his design of Brainiac, man.
Yeah, like I said, he looks like something out of Hellraiser.
Yeah, like there's some body horror type shit here, man.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, his brain is exposed. He's like psychotic and shit. We have such sights to show you. Yeah.
Right here, this one. Yeah, he puked out his bones.
Yeah, something like that. He shrinked his bones or whatever. And yeah.
I was like, damn it. Okay.
Yeah, he's a fucking straight up villain, man. Straight up horror villain.
Cool ass panel, man. I'm saying, like,
yeah, man. This is my book of the week. Okay. I thought this was dope. There's like a horror. This is like he's like a horror villain. Brainiac is a horror villain, you know. And then fucking the enhancements that he's given Peacemaker looks like he's a transformer, like a mech suit.
Right, because his legs are like hind legs and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the next issue, Death comes to Smallville. And I'm there, man. I'm there.
So is it one Peacemaker coming or like a whole bunch of Peacemakers coming?
I don't know. He's got one on the table, like all strapped with all these like robotic shit, you know, on him all, you know, attached to him and shit. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Cyber Cena. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give this fuck it for 5 out of 5. This was cool. This is really cool. I was like, I'm surprised you didn't read this.
Okay. I don't know why I did, man. But another one, I read the whole book, but I'm not gonna do the whole book. Okay. But the first part was pretty. I like the first part. Okay. Storm number 8, I guess.
Okay.
I guess is where we are right now. Now, the last issue, she basically had to run a gauntlet against all the Thunder Gods. You know, so and right before she was about to do her thing, all of a sudden Thor shows up. We don't know if Thor's on the side. We don't know if Thor is whatever. Thor just shows up. You know, it's just like, I say he nay, you know, all this shit like that. So let me see. Hold on.
Come hither, fair mate.
Come hither. You know?
My loins are burning.
All right. So let's go to. So the book actually shows them. It kind of spoils it because it actually shows Storm and Thor basically teaming up. So yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. I guess she got some kind of Wakandan armor or some shit like. I don't know what
that is pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
She got some kind of armor, some shit like that. That's going on. So we got that. So basically, team up. So yeah. So the book starts off with Storm basically going, "I am Storm, mistress of the elements." You know that bullshit she says from the cartoon. You know, I don't know why they did that. They did exactly like that. And basically, she just doing like some wind shit. She like the storm because basically Brazil is covered with a storm because the storm guards had fucking up the weather in Brazil. So she just does some shit, and it's clear. So Brazil is clear again. Yeah. And T'Challa, and basically Tony and T'Challa talking shit like that. He's like, good, T'Challa, you didn't have to use that bullshit ass wind machine you were going to use to fix the air. And T'Challa was like, Tony, we were working on that machine together. He was like, nah, because the machine didn't work. So I'm blaming it on you because my shit works. He was like, and then while we're here, don't you want to talk to your mutant ex-wife, Storm? He's like, nah, because I got a date with your mutant ex-wife, Emma Frost. So people were confused about this panel right here. It's not that T'Challa is banging Emma Frost. Tony and Emma Frost used to be married, so T'Challa is fucking with him. That's what he's doing. It's just jabbing back and forth. Meanwhile, Miss Fantastic's like loving marriage, never divorced. Meanwhile, his wife is with
this
her
fucking guy,
right? His wife with her boyfriend in Atlantis and shit. But yeah, all right. So Storm and Thor. So basically, Storm came to Brazil to like get the ashes of this pilot that died down there, and she just like soaking up everything like sand, storm, dirt, whatever like that. She like, I just take these ashes to Dr. Voodoo, and I know he can separate them, and that's cool. So yeah. So Thor is basically telling her, look, Storm, I know all these Thunder Guards came after you and trying to kill you and shit like that, but I'm here to tell you, they ain't shit. I hate to talk about anybody's religion, something like that, but he's basically saying, like, these ain't the real guys. Like, I ain't shit. Zeus ain't shit. There's another guy past us. So now I had to Google this to find out what it is. He said there's another Thunder God way past us, the first Thunder God. His name is Hadad. I might make it.
Is this some Norse shit or what?
No, it's like Mesopotamia shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like that. So he's the Thunder God right there. They say he is the strongest Thunder God. Matter of fact, he's just the strongest thing, period. Like he wore the Phoenix as his armor and wears eternity.
The one above all.
Well, no, he's the one below the one above all because he's so fucking powerful. The only person that could take out Hadad was the one above all.
Okay.
We're not supposed to look directly into it, Eli. Yeah. So the one above all has to show up and beat the shit out this guy. So, like I said, we can count on our hands how many times we have seen the one above all in a comic, and we're seeing it right now in Storm. So, yeah. So basically, banished, but they know Hadad is coming back, and that's why these Thunder Gods are acting up and crazy like shit. And that's what Silver Surfer was doing in the last issue. And I think this is tied to the Black Winter. I think in a Thor comic where he fought Weather. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Thor is just like, look, Storm, I got to go do some Thor shit, Viking shit, whatever like that. But if the Thunder Guys come knocking again, take this leaf or some shit. And if they give you trouble, call me, and they will rue the day they made an enemy of Aurora Monroe. And Storm just like, nah, I'm good. She was like, if the Thunder Gods show up again at my doorstep, they're the ones that are gonna need help. And then she just lightning bolts off. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, you can't out badass Thor, but she did. So she got to fuck about
I thought that said Krakoa for a second.
like cocoon, just like that. So she just lightning bolts out of there to the sanctuary and shit like that. So, all right, that's the end of that arc. What happened is she gets investigated by the FBI by some nitrous smoking alien, and Maggot is having a death battle, and because they find out that she snuck Professor X off planet. So, yeah, to be continued. I'm not for all other shit. Just point that happened. So, yeah,
like the sands of an hourglass.
Yeah, basically that arc is done. New arc is going on and stuff like that. I hope the other arc is as good as other, because her fighting a whole bunch of Thunder Guys, that was pretty awesome. So I kind of like that. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Overall, Storm is one of the best books Marvel is putting out right now. People really need to be reading this shit because crazy shit is happening. Like you think it's just been the one above all shows up. Fuck. What does she need? So, yeah. All right. So, and don't forget, she's still the hero of eternity. So,
no, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't even use that power. She just like, if I just bust that shit out when some real shit happens,
Didn't she go to hell and resurrect Magneto?
Right. Yeah.
Like last year or whatever it was.
Yeah. So crazy shit happening.
Did Al Ewing write that too?
I think he did. Yeah. that weird shit. So yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what I got. I'm gonna give this issue 4 out of 5 because, like I said, the front half was awesome. Then the second half was just her getting interrogated. I was like,
soap opera shit.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, whatever. I know it's setting up other shit, so we'll see where it goes. So yeah. All right. So what you got next?
I have Psylocke number 7.
Sexy Psylocke. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See what we got. Okay.
So So Psylocke's been like she's been having nightmares, like these visions, and she thinks like some demon or some shit's behind it. So she goes to like New Orleans and finds Magic and Death Dream.
You mean like the mutant X-Men Magic?
Yeah, Magic. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Magic with a K. Yeah.
Okay.
Not Yelena. What the fuck's her name? What's her face? Ileana. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to. What's her face's sister? What's his name? I tried to go with it. What's his name's sister? That chick. Colossus. What's Colossus's name? That guy.
That guy's sister of that chick. Yeah.
Yeah, that chick. Magic with a K. Yeah, and then Death Dream. I don't know Death Dream's real name. Is that Rogue's son or somebody or
Death Dream? What the fuck is Death Dream?
I don't know.
You going 2 X-Men deep for me?
Yeah, I don't know either. That's what it seems like. What Rogue's in this too, you know. So they go to New Orleans and they're fighting. Well, Death Dream gets taken over by the demon that seems to be fucking with Psylocke. So they have to fight him. Like Magic, Rogue, Psylocke, they're all fighting Death Dream. Mm-hmm. You know, and but they're trying not to kill him. You know, they don't want to kill him because he's basically possessed. You know, and they don't want to hurt him. You know, so that's basically what happens. They have this battle. Meanwhile, while that's going on, John Grey Crow and what's her name?
He's still in the books. Okay.
Yeah, they're a thing. They're banging. You know,
nice.
Yeah. Grey Crow and Psylocke sitting in a tree. And what's that? The Psylocke's what the hell's their name again? Their little homie, Devin, is Psylocke's little sidekick.
I said, what kind of X-Men name is that? Devin.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually a mutant, but she's like the computer wizard. But anyways, Psylocke, they haven't been able to find Psylocke. They lost contact with her. John Grey Crow can't get a hold of her either, and so they're like concerned about her, and so they're trying to find out a way. She's like, okay, I'm gonna give you an upgrade for your arm because John Grey Crow's got that arm, that robotic arm or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's an upgrade, and then we cut back to Psylocke back at the battle. They finally kick the demon's ass out of. Rogue does something. Rogue touches Psylocke and sucks some of her abilities out of her, and somehow manages to get the demon to unpossess Death Dream, and then vanquish it, and it escapes. But they save Death Dream. The demon's gone, and all that. So then we cut back to she goes back to John Grey Crow, and they're like hugging and like. I can't stay too long, I gotta go. I need to do something, but I promise I'll keep in touch. And they hug, and then she takes off, and then Dylan's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that camera I planted in your arm, it's on her, so we can keep track of her. So they're tracking Psylocke now. And then Psylocke goes to Japan to find whatever demon that is haunting her. So kind of what it is. That's where it ends. It was okay. It's kind of the battle was cool. So, but it's kind of like setting up. It's one of those set up stories. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's cool. I mean, I'm still digging the book.
Nice. What issue was it again? It was issue 7?
7, yeah.
Okay.
So it's like the new.
I'm liking that Marvel is pushing the solo X-Men instead of X-Men. Yeah. They should push more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not reading X-Men, but you give me solo X-Men, I read that.
Yeah, and it's Psylocke. She's a fucking ninja.
Right. Yeah, just give us that. Shit.
He's kicking ass, and John Grey Crow shows up with his guns and robotic shit. And it's
right. It's
I've been digging on
success. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been fun. So yeah.
All right. So damn, it's on me. Okay. My last book. Oh, get back there. Okay. My last book, Absolute Green Lantern #2.
Oh, you read this? Okay.
Yeah. Darkseid is. I had it because I read the first issue. I was like, well, since I'm up to date, let's see what the fuck's going on. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the last issue apparently Hal Jordan is the villain and Sojourner is the hero. She's the Green Lantern of this story. They revealed it like the very last in it, and they're meeting up in this diner, and now we get to see what the fuck's going on. So let's just go there and see. So the book starts off with basically them meeting up. You know, Sojourner basically is like, my head. She sees Hal, he just killed everybody in there. She's the Green Lantern and shit like that. She don't know how he got her powers. He don't know how he got her powers. And they kind of break down how they got their powers. So they just realized, because they were friends like a few hours or maybe like a day before all this bullshit happens. So they were like, instead of let's just talk. Let's talk it out, see what the fuck going on. You're like, okay. So they sit down, talk, and they kind of recap what happened to them, because they both have like memory gaps going on right now, you know. So she's the Green Lantern and he's the Black Hand, and they go to Evergreen City, and in Sabanur, Sabin. You know what the fuck that dude's name is? The Green Lantern guy. The Green Lantern guy.
Sinestro?
No, Abin Sur.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I knew you would know the lore.
I don't know. I'm not a big. I don't know. I'm not well versed in Green Lantern.
Okay.
Oa.
Right.
I know Oa.
Okay.
And Sinestro. And
okay.
What's his name? Balrock. What's the frog dude?
Not Balrock, a Street Fighter.
No, what's the guy?
Lord of the Ring.
The orange dude.
Okay. No, that's the thing.
No, the one, the big, I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We get all that shit fucked up. Okay.
Turns out I don't know him.
Okay. All right. So Abin Sur. That's the guy. Like, okay, he shows up in town, and this sheriff is trying to run him out of town, and the sheriff happens to be Guy Gardner with the beard, red beard, also like that. He like, yo, get the fuck out of my town. I don't know who you are. You can't be here. And he's just like, I am the law. And he was like, Guy Gardner, you will be judged. And he, before he does anything, yeah. Oh, then that's when Sojourner shows up and John Stewart shows up like, okay, chill out. We don't know who this guy is. First contact, first alien we ever seen. Let's not just fire bullets at him. Let's see what the fuck he wants. You know, maybe he's here for a reason, you know, or maybe he'll get us the hell out of here because they're in some bubble. They can't even get out of the town right now. So, and then when they get there, that's when, yeah. So he puts the gun down and he is judged. Bam. He kills Guy Gardner. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like melts him. And then other people are shooting at him. He's like reflecting the bullets back at them. They shoot each other. You know, they're dead. He looks at one guy, you will be judged. So every time he does it, he just, you will be judged. Chops her head off. You know, looks at the other guy, you will be judged. And then he shoots at him, chops his hand off. You will be judged. You know, it just keeps going. They're like, man, what the fuck's going on here? Like, this guy's crazy. So, and then, Hal Jordan picks up the gun of the guy that got his hand chopped off, and they're trying to save him. And Abin Sur is just like, Hal Jordan, you will be judged, you know. And apparently Hal Jordan, well, we don't see what happened next. All we know is that John Stewart runs away, you know. And he was like, and give me the gun before the gun does some bullshit to you, you know. And yeah, I guess Abin Sur takes off. So they're sitting there talking. So then Joe is just like, okay, did you give John Stewart the gun? He was like, I forgot to. And he pulls the gun out of his hand. So he's got the gun right there. He was like, give me the gun, Hal, before you do some fucked up shit. He like, I can't. It wants to feed or some shit, you know. And yeah, and then John Stewart pulls out a ring. The end. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but yeah. So I'm kind of lost. I know the first issue I was lost too, but I thought I was gonna get answers here, and all I got is more questions. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to stick with it because it's just getting fucking weird right now. I don't know what the hell going on. So
and that's why I read like a preview of #1.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, I don't know enough Green Lantern lore to know what really matters because it's the absolute universe. Right. I'm not going to get the changes. Shit, but yeah, I'm not going to get what they're changing. So it's like, that's why I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm. So, and I know a little bit more Green Lantern lore than the average person. And even now I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? You know, but I think they're going to give us more answers down the road. Hopefully will. I think
Yeah.
they're purposely trying to confuse us. Why
Yeah.
were they? But whatever. Okay, so yeah,
Because
yeah.
I like I was reading The Martian Manhunter,
Mhm.
the Absolute Martian Manhunter, which the first one was like really cool and kind of weird and very interesting. But then when I read the second issue, I was like, okay, I totally do not know what's going on.
Deep in Martian Manhunter lore.
Yeah, which I'm not familiar with. Like, I don't
Nobody
know.
knows Martian Manhunter lore.
Yeah, and it was just more weird stuff that I'm not like. Okay, it worked the first time for me because I thought it was interesting, but now I don't know what's going on anymore because I don't know the lore.
Right.
And so I'm pretty much done with that.
we tried. So,
yeah. I gave it a whirl.
Yeah. All right, so that's all I got. I'm booked out. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5 because the art style was pretty cool. Abin Seward looked cool, whatever the fuck he was doing. I don't know, chopping people's heads off, shit like that. So it still got that horror element, not as deep as it was in the first one, because that shit felt like a horror, like it was ripping off a horror movie in this one. But this one, whatever. So
yeah,
but 3.5. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5, just because I'm not done yet. I'm gonna see where it goes. So yeah. Anything else you got, Eli? Or
no, I'm pretty booked out. The only other book I read, honorable mention, is The Moon Is Still Following Us.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Warren Johnson's book. It's still good. It's just like it's the second to the last, I think, issue. So it's just a big battle. It was just a big battle, basically. So still going cool. 4 out of 5. But yeah, that's about it. I'm booked out. It was a light week.
I thought it was gonna be a light show. I thought it was gonna be just you talking about Andor while I go smoking cigarettes and shit like that. I wouldn't expect you to like jump in and shit, but yeah. All right. So, but hey, that is the world. All right. So, like I said, if you listen this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. Shout out to the new subscribers that jumped in on this podcast. Shout out to the people pissed off at me for that reel I posted the other day. Yeah, that's all we got. So we're gonna crank out some more shit. I don't know what's gonna happen next week. Something will happen. Yeah. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We can talk to you guys next week. Oh, shout out to we're at 700 views right now, Eli. On the
damn.
Yeah.
I know that people were commenting. Shout out to everybody who commented and
you know why, Eli? Because we're the only people not on some political bullshit with Andor. Like we're just talking about the show. That's it. So yeah. So
which
I
is
think
political. So it
is political, but you know what I mean. We're not
it's woke trash. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we didn't say woke not one time. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Until we just did. So yeah. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.